I was adopted and found my twin online. Our story is a nightmare for our birth parents. We gave you a better life than you would have had with us, my birth mother, Victoria, said coldly, not even looking up from her diamond bracelet. Some teenage mistakes are meant to be forgotten. You should be grateful we didn't choose abortion. The words hung in the air of their mansion's parlor. For 25 years, I dreamed of this moment, finding my biological parents. I'd imagined tears, hugs, stories about my origins. I never imagined this cold dismissal from the wealthy socialite who bore me. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I simply looked at the woman who had thrown away one twin and kept the other, and felt something inside me shift forever. I understand, I said, my voice eerily calm as I stood to leave. What I didn't tell her was that I'd already found my twin brother, Lucas, the son they'd chosen to keep. And together, we'd been planning a family reunion they would never forget. Justice must be served and secrets must be revealed. You won't believe how we exposed their perfect life. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and let us know where you're watching from in the comments. My name is Noah. I grew up with wonderful adoptive parents in a small town where everyone knew everyone. The Millers were kind, hardworking people who told me I was special because they chose me. They saved every scrap of information from my adoption. I was born in the nearby city of Crestwood, and my biological parents were described as a young couple unable to provide. I never felt like something was missing until my adoptive mother passed away from cancer. Going through her things, I found documents she'd kept hidden, my original birth certificate. It listed my mother as Victoria Hawthorne. A quick search showed the Hawthornes were one of the wealthiest families in the state. My hands trembled as I found Lucas Hawthorne online, a rising political star who looked exactly like me. The resemblance was uncanny. We shared the same dark hair, same jawline, same smile. The documents showed we were born just minutes apart. Noah has found his twin brother online, but Lucas comes from unimaginable wealth and privilege. What dark secret could explain why one twin was kept and the other was abandoned? I spent months gathering courage before contacting Victoria. Her response was surprisingly quick. She agreed to meet, though she insisted on discretion. The Hawthorne estate took my breath away. Gates, security, a mansion that looked like a museum. Victoria received me in a parlor filled with antique furniture and portraits of Lucas at various ages. "You look well," she said, her eyes assessing me like a piece of artwork. I assumed the Millers provided adequate care. "They were wonderful parents," I said. "Good." She adjusted her bracelet. "Then I hope you understand why this meeting must be our last." My heart sank. Last? But I have so many questions. About my father, about my medical history, about why you gave me up but kept Lucas. Her face hardened. "We gave you a better life than you would have had with us. Some teenage mistakes are meant to be forgotten. You should be grateful we didn't choose abortion." The words felt like physical blows. "We're twins. Doesn't that mean anything?" "Twins were inconvenient for the life we planned," she said coldly. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a charity gala to prepare for." I stood there, rejected not just as a son, but as a human being. The rejection is complete and cold-blooded. But Noah isn't just walking away. He's about to make contact with the brother who never knew he existed. For weeks, I battled anger and depression. Then I remembered Lucas. Did he even know about me? I created a fake Instagram account and followed him. His life was a parade of political events, charity functions, and smiling photos with Victoria and his father, Charles Hawthorne, a powerful businessman. Then I noticed something strange. In several photos, Lucas had a small, barely visible scar above his eyebrow, exactly where I had one from falling off my bike at age 7. The coincidence was too perfect. The identical scars suggest these twins share more than just looks. They share life experiences. What other connections might exist between them? I worked up the courage to message Lucas from a new email account. "I have information about your family that might interest you. Can we meet discreetly?" He responded within an hour. "Who is this?" "My name is Noah Miller," I typed. "And I believe we're brothers." We met at a quiet coffee shop 30 miles from Crestwood. When Lucas walked in, it was like looking in a mirror. We both froze, staring at each other. "You're real," he whispered. "You didn't know," I realized. He shook his head, his face pale. "My parents told me my twin died at birth." The lie hit us both simultaneously. They hadn't just abandoned me, they'd buried me in lies. The parents didn't just separate the twins. They told Lucas his brother was dead. This deception runs deeper than Noah ever imagined. Over the next month, Lucas and I met secretly, piecing together our story. He accessed family documents while I dug through adoption records. We discovered the truth. Victoria and Charles were 17 when they had us. Charles's wealthy parents had demanded they give up one of the babies to avoid social embarrassment and protect their legacy. They chose to keep the firstborn, Lucas, and invented the story about the second twin dying. The betrayal was calculated and cruel, driven by wealth and social status. But the twins are about to turn their parents' own weapons against them. Lucas brought shocking evidence. Financial records showing Charles had paid the adoption agency extra for secrecy, and Victoria's teenage diary, where she wrote about being forced to choose between her babies. "I've lived my whole life in a gilded cage," Lucas confessed. "Every achievement was for their image. They never loved me. They loved what I represented." I showed him my evidence, photos of us at similar ages, our identical mannerisms, the life I'd built despite their rejection. "We have to expose them," Lucas said, his eyes determined. Not for revenge, but for the truth. We began recording everything. Lucas wore a hidden camera during family dinners where Charles bragged about maintaining the family legacy. We documented their lies, their manipulation, their cold calculation. Lucas isn't just sympathetic. He's willing to help destroy the life he's always known. The twins are now united against their birth parents. What the Hawthorns never anticipated was that their perfect son had been planning his own escape for years. Lucas had secretly been working with a journalist to expose corruption in his father's business. Now he had the perfect addition to the story. We planned our reveal for the Hawthorne Foundation's annual gala, the biggest social event of their season, covered by all the major media outlets. Lucas continued playing the perfect son publicly while gathering more evidence privately. He discovered that Charles had been using the family's charity to hide business losses and avoid taxes. The corruption goes beyond family secrets. The Hawthorns' entire public image is built on deception. The twins are about to bring down their empire. I worked on the emotional side of our presentation, collecting photos and documents that showed our parallel lives. We found we'd both played baseball in high school, both studied business in college, both even dated women with the same name. The most damning evidence came when Lucas found his own adoption papers in his father's safe. Papers showing Charles had legally adopted him, making Victoria his biological mother, but Charles not his biological father. The family secret is even darker than they thought. Charles isn't Lucas's biological father, which means the family legacy he's so obsessed with isn't even biologically his. We planned every detail. Lucas would give a speech about family legacy at the gala, and I would be waiting backstage to join him. We had documents ready to release to the press, and Lucas's journalist friend prepared to publish the full story that night. The stage is set for the most dramatic family revelation imaginable. But will the twins go through with destroying the only life Lucas has ever known? The night of the gala arrived. I waited backstage, watching Lucas mingle with the elite. He looked every bit the perfect heir in his tuxedo, smiling and shaking hands while our parents beamed with pride. Victoria spotted me in the shadows. Her smile vanished, and she rushed over, her face a mask of fury. "What are you doing here?" she hissed. "I told you to stay away from our family." "Actually, he's with me," Lucas said, joining us. Victoria's eyes widened. "Lucas, what is this?" "It's truth time, mother," he said calmly. The confrontation begins backstage, but the real drama is about to unfold in front of hundreds of guests and media camera. Charles joined us, his face darkening when he saw me. "I knew you'd be trouble," he snarled. "How much do you want to disappear?" "I don't want your money," I said. "I want everyone to know what you did." "Lucas," Charles said, turning to his son, "this person is trying to destroy our family. Think about your political future." Lucas looked at the man he'd called father his entire life. "You're not my father. Not biologically. And you're certainly not acting like one." The shock on Charles's face confirmed the truth. He hadn't known Lucas knew. Lucas reveals he knows Charles isn't his biological father, turning their entire argument on its head. The power dynamic has completely shifted. As Lucas walked on stage for his speech, our parents looked genuinely terrified for the first time. "Friends, family, supporters," Lucas began, smiling at the crowd. "Tonight, I want to talk about the Hawthorne family legacy. The audience applauded politely. I watched from the wings, my heart pounding. For 25 years, I believed I was an only child, Lucas continued. I believed my twin brother died at birth. But that was a lie. A murmur ran through the crowd. Victoria stood up, but Charles pulled her back down. Lucas is starting his revelation, but the audience doesn't know Noah is waiting in the wings. The dramatic reveal is moments away. My parents didn't just lie about my brother's death, Lucas said. They abandoned him. They gave him away because twins were inconvenient for their social ambitions. The crowd grew restless. Camera flashes popped. And tonight, Lucas said, his voice growing stronger, I'd like you to meet my brother, Noah. I walked on stage. The gasps were audible. Seeing us side by side, the resemblance was undeniable. The visual impact of identical twins standing together makes the Hawthorns' lie undeniable. But Lucas has even more revelations prepared. We have evidence of the adoption cover-up, I told the crowd, and evidence that the Hawthorne Foundation has been used to hide business losses and avoid taxes. Chaos erupted. Reporters rushed forward. Our parents sat frozen in their seats, their perfect world collapsing around them. The exposure is complete and public. But the legal and social consequences are just beginning for the Hawthorns. The fallout was immediate and brutal. The IRS launched an investigation into the Hawthorne Foundation. Charles's business partners withdrew their support. Victoria was dropped from every charity board she served on. The story went viral. Political star exposes parents' twin secret and charity fraud. The media dug deeper, uncovering more of Charles's questionable business practices. The Hawthorns' entire world is collapsing, but Lucas is facing consequences too. His political career is over before it began, or is it? Lucas surprised everyone by embracing the truth. He gave interviews about growing up in a gilded cage and started a foundation for adopted children seeking their biological families. I discovered our biological father was actually Victoria's high school boyfriend, who had no idea she'd been pregnant. We found him, a carpenter named James living a quiet life 2 states away. He wept when he met us both. The twins find their real biological father, completing the family picture their mother tried to destroy. The Hawthorns lost everything within months. Their mansion was sold to pay legal fees and back taxes. Charles faced criminal charges for tax evasion and fraud. The corrupt parents have lost their wealth and status, but there's one final confrontation coming: the emotional reckoning. Victoria came to see us months later. The socialite was gone, replaced by a tired-looking woman in simple clothes. I lost everything, she said, not meeting our eyes. My friends, my status, my home. We lost each other for 25 years, I said quietly. She finally looked at us. I was 17. My parents said we had to choose. Charles insisted it was the only way. Did you ever try to find me? I asked. She shook her head. It was easier to pretend you never existed. Lucas spoke for the first time. All those years, you looked me in the eye and lied. You let me celebrate birthdays while my twin thought he was alone in the world. I'm sorry, she whispered. For both of you. Sorry doesn't undo 25 years of deception, I said. But I forgive you. Not for you, for me. So I can move forward. Victoria looked at Lucas. And you? I don't know if I can ever forgive you, he said honestly. But I don't hate you anymore. That's the best I can offer. She nodded, understanding this was the end. You both look so much like your real father. It was the first honest thing she'd ever said to us. In her final moment of honesty, Victoria acknowledges their true biological father, finally giving the twins a piece of their real identity. Today, Lucas and I run a successful business helping adopted children find their biological families. We work with our father, James, who's slowly getting to know the sons he never knew he had. The Hawthorns live in a small apartment, their wealth and influence gone forever. Charles serves house arrest for tax evasion. Victoria works as a receptionist, invisible to the society that once adored her. Last week, Lucas and I stood at our grandfather's grave, James's father, a man who never knew he had grandsons. We placed flowers on the headstone together. Sometimes I wonder what our lives would have been like if we'd grown up together, Lucas said. I put my arm around my brother, my twin, my business partner, my best friend. We're making up for lost time now. In that moment, surrounded by family I'd chosen and family I'd found, I understood that legacy isn't about wealth or social status. It's about truth and love and the bonds that even 25 years of lies can't break.